At sa puntong ito, makakausap natin ngayong umaga si Russian Ambassador to the Philippines, Igor Khovaev. Good morning, Mr. Ambassador.
Good morning.
Thank you for your time, for coming all the way to our
Thank you for
studio.
inviting me. And please accept my sincere congratulations on the Bonifacio Day.
Oh, thank you. All right. I'll go straight to the point because recently Russia has been in the news because of all the donations that you've given to the Philippines. You've donated thousands of rifles to the military, even vehicles to our armed forces of the Philippines. In fact, our President Duterte, even said that Russia, in a way, helped turn the tide in the war in Marawi. So, for the record, is Russia looking into a possible military alliance with the Philippines?
First of all, I would like to emphasize that the fight against terrorism is our common fight. My country suffered a lot from terrorism, and we fully understand that no country is able to efficiently cope with this threat on its own. We need to combine our efforts. So we are open for any cooperation with your country in the military and military technical field. So we are ready to supply sophisticated arms and weapons, staff training, to help you in staff training, of course. And we are ready also joint military exercises, and we are also ready to transfer military technologies to help your country build your own defense industry. So it means that we have long-term strategic interests. We have to build a long-term partnership with your country. I think it's a very responsible policy. But there is one exception.
Yeah.
We don't seek any military alliance. We are against closed military alliances in the Asia-Pacific region.
Why is that?
There are some reasons. First of all, we think that the security must be equal and comprehensive, indivisible for all Asian Pacific countries, but not only for the selected few. Any attempt to build a close military alliance means an attempt to provide the alliance members with the security to a considerable extent at the expense of other countries.
Okay.
So it's not a good way, in our view. That's why I'm saying again, we don't seek any military alliance in the region. Moreover, any military alliance means a limitation of sovereignty of some alliances member states. I don't think that you want to have common enemies. If, for example, enemies of your traditional ally can become your own enemies, I don't think that you would welcome that.
So it's okay that the Philippines has an alliance with the United States, a military.
That's your sovereign right.
Yeah.
We don't make any comments on that.
But as far as Russia is concerned, this is help towards one common goal, which is anti-terrorism.
Yes, definitely. And we are ready to help your country to substantially increase your defense capabilities. But no military alliance, I'm saying again.
Okay, but we've seen that compared to other years, this year under President Duterte, the ties, bilateral ties between Russia and the Philippines has become stronger.
Yes, you are absolutely right, and we highly appreciate the policy of His Excellency President Duterte, because it allows all of us to open up new windows for our bilateral, mutually beneficial cooperation. And I have a strong belief that, as I usually say, it's time for Filipinos to discover Russia, and it's time for Russians to discover the Philippines.
Yeah.
Our two nations deserve to be much closer to each other.
And do you see this kind of relationship, this strong relationship continuing even after the term of the president?
I think to a considerable extent it depends on all of us. So I believe that we need to fully use these new opportunities and to build a strong partnership. The partnership which will be taken into proper account all successors of His Excellency President Duterte.
Yeah.
I'm saying again, I have a strong belief it's in full compliance with the strategic interests of our two nations, and it will also contribute to the regional peace, stability, and sustainable development.
Speaking of partnership, well, we looked at our research, and right now, when it comes to trade between the Philippines and Russia is not that vibrant. But do you see this becoming more active in the future?
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, you are right again in this respect. Of course, the statistic figures of our trade volume are not really impressive. I would say so. But at the same time, we have a lot of favorable preconditions to increase our trade and to increase mutual investments
that's good.
as well, and the exchange of technologies as well. And believe me, please, so both two sides, both the governments of the Philippines and Russia, we are taking a lot of efforts in order to solve this problem.
And recently, the Philippines and Russia signed 8 agreements on trade and including energy. I'd like to...
it just confirms what I have just said.
Correct. So I'd like to focus on energy. We know that Russia is leading in the when it comes to nuclear energy, and Russia has pledged to help the Philippines develop our nuclear energy here. What exactly are Russia's commitments, or what can we expect from Russia when it comes to developing nuclear energy in the country?
Yes, right. The Russian state atomic energy corporation, Rosatom, has recently signed a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Energy of your country on the cooperation in the nuclear field. So, first of all, I'd like to say, to draw your attention to the fact that we are ready to cooperate with your country in the fields, in the forms which are acceptable for you. In full compliance with your own national nuclear energy development program. So the memorandum...
So studies and...
Yes, first of all, of course. And now, as far as I understand, so we need to focus on scientific researches.
Right.
First of all, on the elaboration of bilateral projects, for example, in the agriculture, in the public health sector, and so on. So many people don't know that the nuclear technologies can and should be used in many different industries, in many sectors. So it's not only the production of nuclear energy, not at all. So as far as the Batan nuclear plant, it's a nuclear energy facility. So this facility should be checked on a regular basis.
Right.
And that's why we are ready to help our Philippine partners to assess the current state of these nuclear facilities.
Well, another concern of Filipinos when it comes to nuclear energy, aside from safety, is nuclear waste disposal. Is Russia also willing to help the Philippines?
Yes, of course. We have the most sophisticated technologies in this field, and I'm saying again, so we are ready to consider any request of our Philippine partners, including this one.
That's good news.
We are ready for discussion.
All right.
As your reliable partners.
Let's talk about the president's war on drugs. I mean, there have been allegations of human rights violations and extrajudicial killings. In fact, some leaders, even Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the United Nations, have expressed alarm on this. Does Russia share these views?
As a foreign diplomat, I always refrain from any comments on your domestic developments.
Okay.
So I believe that it's up to the Philippine people, the Philippine public opinion, the Philippine society, to assess what's happening in the field of your struggle against drugs, against drug trafficking. So we fully understand that it's a very serious problem. Such a problem also exists in my country, in Russia. We are ready to combine our efforts with our Philippine partners in the struggle against illicit drug trafficking. But please don't expect from me any comments on your domestic development, simply because, as a Russian diplomat, I deeply respect your sovereignty.
All right. Moving on to another topic.
And one more remark. We sincerely wish His Excellency President Duterte and his administration, all Filipinos, to be successful in this struggle against drug trafficking.
So you support, I mean, you will not meddle into the affairs of how...
Yes, right.
Yeah.
We will not meddle into your domestic affairs. And I can add also that we believe that the Philippine public opinion is able, and your judicial system is able to assess all possible violations in this field.
Right.
If it's true, of course.
Yeah.
But please don't expect any comments from us.
Of course. Okay. One final question. There is a persistent threat from North Korea. How do you think should this situation be handled?
There is only one way to solve this crisis. Of course, I agree with you. It's a threat
Yeah.
to all of us.
Correct. Not just to one region.
And my country is not a kind of advocate of the North Korean political regime. But there is only one way to solve political disputes. To sit down together and to start talking. The mankind didn't invent anything better in this respect. So recently, the Russian side announced a program how to get out of this crisis. So the first two steps should be as follows: the North Korea should stop all drills, all missile launches.
Missile launches, yeah.
And the United States and its allies should stop large-scale military drills. And after that, all interested parties should restart talking.
But there should be action first.
We don't see any alternative. No military solution. Any attempt to use force, it will be a complete disaster for the whole region, for all of us. So it must be ruled out under any conditions.
But we can't talk if there is no action first, like withdrawing all, stopping all these missile testing and launching.
As I have just said.
Yeah.
So it should be a two-way street. Any attempt to put political pressure or military pressure on North Korea, it's a way to nowhere. North Koreans, they are not easily frightened people. They will protect, they will defend their country. And by the way, there is no foreign military presence on the North Korean soil. They don't threaten anyone. But they don't want somebody from outside to interfere into their domestic affairs. So let them live in the way they want. Don't try to change a political regime in North Korea. It's up to the North Korean people to determine, to define their own political future. And as far as I know, so the North Korean leadership announced a readiness to use their missiles only if somebody attacks them. That's their official position. But I'm saying again, we are against any proliferation of mass destruction weapons and their delivery vehicles. We don't want North Korea to have mass destruction weapons. It's not in our Russian national interest, and that's why we also imposed economic sanctions on the North Korean political regime. But at the same time, I would like to stress once again, that's a fundamental position of my government. No military solution. Please stop brandishing arms and weapons. Stop large-scale military exercises. It's a way to nowhere. And of course, the North Korean political regime must be more responsible.
All right. Very well said. Thank you very much for your time, Russian Ambassador to the Philippines, Igor Khovaev. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.